we've got 3 stems of Tilia. This is Tilia americana, American basswood. The furrows beginning to appear at the base where the tree is the widest, but the upper bark is smooth and gray. And you'll notice that there's 3 or 4 stems all sprouting from one spot here. This is very typical for Tilia. American basswood loves to basal sprout. It's constantly getting disturbed, cut down, and sprouting back. Here we have 2 stems of American basswood coming off of the same butt, the same base, the same root system. This top one sprouted after this left one started growing. This one's obviously larger diameter, more mature, more developed bark, right? We see these flat, broad ridges, these furrows, very parallel, a lot less cross-hatching than ash, tulip tree, or a black walnut, let's say. Now here's a stem coming straight up. No furrows yet at the beginning. You see those vertical lines there are showing you where furrows will appear as the bark continues to stretch when the tree continues to put on diameter. Here it is coming up here. Right, so these 2 are coming from the same base. If you look up, you got another group right here. All these little stems here, these are also basswood stems. All these little stems all coming from the same root system, or at least from the same base. Tilia is not a root sprouter. It is a basal sprouter. So the sprouts will not come up from the lateral roots. Instead, they will come up from the base, from the butt of the tree, where it interfaces with the ground and the roots. There's that developed bark. And in the background, a young stem, smooth. Same color though. See, that color is actually pretty typical. That very light gray. It's a pretty typical color for basswood. Okay, the back's going to be a little bit overly bright, overexposed here, but kind of wanted to show you this bark, right and left. These 2 are the same species. The one on the right is smaller diameter, obviously, which is why it is smoother and is less furrowed and less aggressively ridged. The one on the left is older. This is Tilia americana, American basswood. So here is our basswood bark, shiny, broad, flat ridges. Very different from our ash bark. This is green ash, right? And these ridges, they do interlace. They interlace a little more aggressively, a little sharper. They're more X-like in the way they cross over and the way they interlace or interfinger. But these are also, they come to peaks. These ridges come to peaks. So if you were to cut one of these ridges in half, the cross-section would be V-shaped. It would come to a peak, whereas the Tilia ridges, the basswood ridges, are flat. They're totally flat. So if you were to cut one in half, rather than being like a mountain in cross-section, it would be like a plateau, right? It is flat across the top, as opposed to ash, which comes to a ridge, to a true ridge, like you would have on a mountain range. Look at that nice arching American basswood, Tilia americana. Gorgeous stem there, arching up. Got a bunch of them growing out of the snow here, right near the edge of the lake. And there's a more mature stem up behind them, basswood.